I've run my email marketing agency, Magnet Monster, for over 7 years. We're a Klaviyo Elite partner. We're in the top 0.2% of agencies worldwide, and we've worked with over 300 D2C brands. That sounds amazing, but today I'm here to tell you about the 8 brutal truths of running this business that I've learned over the last 7 years. And I'm not going to hide anything. If you are an agency owner looking to get into the space, this will save you a fortune and hopefully make you one as well. And if you're a brand, this will tell you what to look out for. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Truth number 1. There is a hard ceiling limit around 10K a month that you can charge people, at least in the Shopify ecosystem. Even if you move towards the enterprise or upmarket segment, it sounds great, but actually not a lot of brands can afford to pay this. So if you are looking for serious scale and to cash out, then bear in mind, as of the time of me recording this video, I think there's probably 10,000 brands, maybe above 10 million in annual revenue. And if you want to get the brands that can pay 10K a month, then they have to generally be doing at least this number. So you have to factor that into consideration and then look at how many Klaviyo agencies are in the space. It's something like 6,000. There's not enough to go around for everyone to eat. Even the winners have to target the smaller SMB segment if they want serious scale from this business, which brings me on to point number 2. So point number 2 is the biggest market segment is in the 1 to 10 million revenue range. But what a surprise, this is also the most saturated and highly commoditized, and most agencies are charging brands anywhere from 2 to 4K in this region. Again, it sounds great, but when you look at how many touch points are involved in this service, it is very difficult to make this business profitable. Most agencies are giving brands anywhere between 10 to 20, even 30 emails a month. And even with the use of AI, there is a lot of touch points, a lot of check-ins, a lot of modifications to flows, segmentation, campaigns, designs that will erode margin. So you have to really push the account manager if you're targeting the segments to handle, let's say, around 8 to 12 accounts minimum, which leads to burnout, low morale in the company, and often a diminished service for the client. Is a tricky one to get right, I'm not going to lie. So number 3, let's just go upmarket, right, and service to bigger brands. The hard reality is it's often messier and less profitable and requires senior people that you need to pay more to manage the politics for these brands. It will surprise you actually that the work isn't always as complicated as you might think, but the actual nuance of handling politics, managing different role players, definitely requires a much higher level of soft skills. So if you are outsourcing to countries where the labor is cheaper and they're not on the same time zone as the American clients, let's be honest, then that is not going to rub well with them. Trust me, when you're putting these people very late at night on calls with them or they're not available at all. Bigger brands will expect to speak to people in their time zone, also able to speak the local lingo, know the culture and the language nuances as well. And that's going to increase your base costs. So it's not so easy to just say, let's service upmarket brands. You need to factor that into the consideration. Brutal truth number 4, design revisions are the biggest killer of profitability in this game. It's not the back and forth over the strategy that I've found to erode profit margin. It is the logo, the gradients needed to be shifted around, the line spacing. Don't underestimate how much this can hurt your bottom line and frustrate your team as well. There's 2 ways to do things. You can be really strict on revisions, which I think you really have to be to make this business work, or you can not allow revisions at all. Yes, there is brands out there that will sign up with you that don't allow or will accept that you don't allow them revisions. There's not a huge amount of them, but some people generally just care about revenue. So if you're able to manage the expectations upfront clearly, you can sign these brands and that will lead to a much smoother service. But there isn't an unlimited amount of them around. And if you are going up market, there is something that will not fly with them because it has to pass through several role players before you can get something live and approved. So bear that in mind when you are looking at your ICP. Brutal truth number 5, and this is important if you want to differentiate yourself like I've tried to do in the past. Clients sign for one reason. That is for you to generate as much revenue as humanly possible for them. And a lot of the time, this is going to lead into short-term tactics and thinking. Not all the time. but a lot of the time, and it will often lower the quality of service that you can provide to people sometimes. Everyone will say that they want UGC, they want zero-party data, qualitative research, all these very sophisticated strategies. But when it comes to the crunch and you start working on the account, I can tell you from experience that most people revert to type and they start putting pressure on you to generate more revenue. This is e-commerce. We can't be naive. Making money is the name of the game. And things are very sensitive and dynamic. They can change on a daily basis. So if you are signing people up on the premise that you do things differently and more sophisticated strategy that's more integrated and holistic into their business, yes, you can do this. It works. But bear in mind that people are going to revert to type after time. And when it comes to the crunch, you're going to be producing that conveyor belt of campaigns, last minute changes, trying to drive a lot of revenue for the brand. It's just the nature of the business. And the sooner you accept it, the better. Brutal truth number 6. I've lost so much money doing this, producing super fancy reports. I've even built out custom reports in Tableau for clients and enlisted data scientists because I thought clients really valued this, and they should. But a lot of the email specific reports are just downstream of what's happening in the overall business, and the clients don't seem to value them. It's shocking, but I can tell you probably 1 in 5 clients seriously reads the reports and comes back with questions. Why is this? I don't know, but if I had to hasten a guess, it's probably because people are just too busy and email specific performance doesn't tell them too much about their overall business. They're more concerned with the general P&L and quite candidly acquisition that's going on, because again, a lot of email performance is downstream of how healthy this is in the business. So my advice is to not spend so much time overemphasizing reports. Make sure that you communicate value instead with proactive weekly check-ins, dropping results in Slack as they come on the fly, and keeping the clients motivated through innovation in your strategy. This is much better than producing really long-winded reports that they don't actually read. Unfortunately, that's been my experience. Brutal truth number 7, email is a very predictable and consistent channel that generates results for clients. Sounds great, right? Unfortunately, this also means that there is a huge amount of competition in the space. Now, there is in every industry, but the problem with agencies is they are low cost to start. Anyone can posture as an expert, and clients have a reputation for being burned by agencies. So expect a lot of commoditization, a lot of amateurs making it hard to win sales because clients have been burned, and really low quality pricing and work by competitors, making it harder for you to go more up markets, to increase prices. People are very sensitive around it. Because email can be quite easy to generate results, let's be honest, for big brands especially, a lot of the clients will be price sensitive, and that goes to the previous point where we were talking about that price ceiling that is currently in place in the industry. That's just part and parcel of participating in this industry. The good news is that you can retain people for quite a long period of time with this service because it's so predictable and consistent. You really have to mess things up to churn from a client or just get stolen by another agency or moving things in-house. Generally speaking, if you have good operations, good systems, great people, it's quite hard to lose clients with this service from my experience. And number 8, the final one, is ecosystem and technical knowledge is the last remaining moat. Problem is that most of this knowledge is tied up with you, the agency founder. It's quite difficult to find people in the ecosystem who are able to think beyond the confines of the channel that they're operating. Most people have been trained on one platform, Klaviyo, one channel, email or SMS, and they're not able to think beyond this. But as you start to try and differentiate and provide more value to clients and ultimately charge more and work with the bigger brands, you need this ecosystem and technical knowledge. And that requires more experience. It requires higher labor costs to get these people. And quite honestly, a lot of these people, like myself, are already running their own agencies. So that will make you get sucked back into the client work unless you're spending a lot of time and a lot of money to train and get these strategists who can manage the bigger brand. And I genuinely believe that's why most people default to that lower market segment because the service is a lot easier to produce. Yes, it's more commoditized, but it's more scalable and profitable. So they're the 8 brutal truths. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Hey, it's just my opinion. I've been around the block a lot, but nothing is set in stone. I'd love to hear what yours are. Drop them in the comments below and make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that like button. Much appreciated. I'll see you soon.